Hey guys! So we are going to talk about how to use the Zentangle animal silhouette packet. If you don't have it printed out, that's okay. You can follow along with the steps with us and you can see what you need. However, it probably would be really helpful to print out the Zentangles example sheet. Okay, so the first thing we've got to do is we have to draw the silhouette on a scrap paper. It should be big enough to touch at least 3 sides of the scrap paper. So I have a half sheet of paper here. And this is just going to be used for a template. So if it's not perfect, if it has lots of lines on it, it's not life or death. In the silhouette packet, you'll see there's lots of different animals to choose from to think about. And it shows what all of them look like in a silhouette. So, you know what? I think I want to do this bird. All right. So I know it needs to touch at least 3 sides of my paper. It's taller than it is wide, so I'll go this way. It looks like it has a triangle around the tail. And then it has a curve for its belly. And then a triangle, simple triangle, and for its head. Then it goes back, front, up. And then it's going to have its wings. And then this one goes straight back and then has its curve of its wings. Okay, so that gives me some basic starts of where I'm going. It helps a lot of times to get your big shapes down and then change up your detail. So for example, just so you can see the difference, I'm going to come and curve where the bird's neck is. So that'll move that to here. I am going to curve the top of the bird's head. So it's not going to be as stark anymore. And along these lines. Now, when I come up here, I'm going to come and get him that scallop texture of having feathers sticking out. Okay, and then over here we have that as well. Okay, now he does have some scallops at the bottom of his lovely little bird tail. So I'll come in and add those. All right, now I'm about ready to cut. So I do touch 1, 2, 3, 4. So I actually managed to touch 4 sides. Your goal is that you touch at least 3. If you don't get it the first time, erase and try again. All right, so I'm going to cut it out to the best of my ability. Because what I'm going to do is this will be my template that I can put down on the paper and trace so that I don't have to worry about how many pencil marks or drawing the thing over again that I have. It also helps me get a good idea of how big it's going to be on my paper. Okay, and then we're almost there. Now, one of the things you can always do is type in animal silhouette if you are looking for one or you don't have our packet. And you can see what shapes would it make if it was just the outline, if it was filled in all the way. Okay, so I've got my template. Now I'm going to take my big paper and I'm going to trace it. I can decide if it's going to be like further up or if it's going to be down or to the side. It just needs to be inside the boundaries of the paper. So I think I'm going to have it down here. And then I'm just going to really lightly trace it because I don't want that to later create a problem for me when I try to go and erase the shape of this bird. So I am coming around I'm making sure I'm not pressing down hard. Just always stay aware of that. Okay. And there we go. All right. So there's where my bird is. Now what I need to do is I need to figure out how to divide up the space behind it. I think I want to do mine kind of in stripes. So like they're coming out of the bird, like they're radiating like sun. So it helps if you don't do too big of spaces. For example, if I came and made one that big, that's going to be a little bit more of an issue when you start working with your Zentangles. So coming and being thoughtful about how big those spaces are really helps you. And you'll notice I'm coming right up to the outline of my animal. And I think I'm actually going to divide up those spaces again with an inner circle. Okay. Now we're ready for the Zentangle part. Each one of these spaces is going to be filled with a different pattern, filled with a different Zentangle. So there's lots of different things you can do. You might be somebody who doodles all the time and you can think of some, or you may want to look at our sheet for some ideas. For example, I really love this. So I think in this section, that's what I'm going to come and do. So I'm just going to take my Sharpie. You want to use a Sharpie so that you can erase the lines later and that your pattern lines will not move. So I'm being really thoughtful to fill just my section that I'm in. When I get down here to the bird, I'm going to keep so that it stops right there. So I'm filling them nice and tight, keeping it in that section. And the reason I'm doing it with Sharpie first, as opposed to doing it with pencil and then Sharpie, is because a lot of the Zentangles are things that you would draw just very easily on your own. So lines or dots or little bumps. And it really creates a lot of extra effort for you to duplicate if you are doing those twice. Okay, so there's that section. All right, what about this section? You know what? I think I want to do, I'm going to have two skinny lines, two skinny lines, two skinny lines. And then I'm going to fill them with lines that are alternating diagonals. And you'll notice I'm taking my time. I'm still inside that section. And I'm not just putting like 3 lines in there and calling it a day. You've really got to think about the fact that what you're doing is going to fill a space and read as a shape, almost like you colored it in by itself. So keeping that nice and controlled. This is a great thing to put on some music too and just kind of like let your mind wander as you're working. It's very relaxing. All right, I'm going to come this way. And once again, I'm going to stop where I've put that pencil line border. So I am stopping at the edge of that shape, not running out of it. And then here goes this side. All right. So you see how we create those where we've got it stopping at the lines we have in pencil. All right. So you'd continue until you had all of the outside shapes filled. Everything would be filled except for your animal. And then you're gonna erase all your pencil. So, for example, here is one that one of our students did with a squirrel. Here's one with a cat. And you can see how everything has its pattern and creates that background. All right. I look forward to seeing what you guys create. Bye.